Yes, sir.
Let's start our topic now. Let's focus on our first topic. Guys, last session video is shared. Okay, please check your mail ID. Video and slide is already shared on your mail. Rajesh, Ahmed, Suresh, please check your mail ID, everyone. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's focus on our topic. So first we can discuss about, wait. So we can start our discussion with first topic. It's called, you can say, introduction or initial configuration and Palo Alto architecture. So platform we can discuss and architecture information. This is the first topic. So let's start our discussion. First, platform and architecture. So we guys are familiar with the Cisco routers, Cisco switches, or if you guys are familiar with other vendors like Fortinet or Checkpoint. So in every vendor we have product series, right? We have lower end firewall devices, we have mid-range firewall devices, we have high-end firewall devices, right? Everyone. So like other vendor, Palo Alto, if you want to learn Palo Alto, so you need to know first product series or product information. So here we have a Palo Alto firewall. These are the physical devices, everyone. Like we have Cisco routers, Cisco switches, okay, Fortinet firewall devices, Checkpoint firewall devices. Same we have in Fortinet, we have some series. So Palo Alto high-end series will start with Palo Alto 7000, 5000 series. These series of the firewall devices you can use in a large network, large enterprise organization. Yes, we have some medium series of the firewall box for medium level organization. You can go with PA 3000, 800 and 500 series of the firewall devices. And for small organization, you can go with PA 200 series. For small organization, okay, let me show you this image about PA 200, for example. PA 200. So Palo Alto 200 series of this firewall device. Say here we have an image. This is Palo Alto firewall box, everyone. Palo Alto firewall with, you can see we have 4 data interfaces. These are called data interfaces. So you can connect your LAN network, WAN, DMZ, DMZ1, DMZ2. So we have 4 data interfaces. You will get one dedicated management port. So what you can do, you can connect your management PC with this management port. By default, we have an IP address onto this management port. It's called 192.168.1.1. By default, we have IP address. If you don't have, so no problem. I can show you how to configure IP address on management port. But if you have IP address on management port, so you can configure same series of IP and you can access this complete firewall device with graphical page, or you can manage through SSH option. Now, for first time configuration, yes, you can go with a console port. You can go with the console port. So this is what PA 200. If you go with PA 220, for example, PA 220. So in PA 220, see, here we have 4 data interfaces. Sorry, here we have 8 data interfaces in PA 220. If you have PA 200, then 4 data interfaces. In PA 220, we have 8 data interfaces, 1 management port, 1 console port. So this is the product information. Clear my point, everyone? Ramesh, Suresh, Ahmed.
Yes.
So you
Yes,
can
sir.
go with, see, you can go with lower series of the firewall devices, or you can go with the high end. See, in my slide, I'm working with some series, but yes, if you want to know about product information for next generation firewall box in Palo Alto, so you can go with this URL. You can go with paloaltonetworks.com/product/secure the network slash next generation firewall. So here you can get other product series information. Now, I told you here we have physical devices, physical appliances. So we need to know the capabilities. For example, if I'm working in a small network, or if I'm working in a medium sized network, so which firewall is suitable? Which firewall is suitable for my organization? You can say. See, here we have some firewall idea for a firewall throughput idea. See, for example, if you have PA200 firewall devices, so PA200, this firewall box will provide you 100 Mbps firewall throughput. 50 Mbps is dedicated for threat prevention technique, and this firewall can support 64,000 sessions, maximum 64,000 sessions, and we have 4 copper gigabit port. So you see here, I'm telling you what product specification, Suresh. Okay, so if this is suitable for you for PA200 for your organization, you can go with. Otherwise, you can go with the higher series like PA500 or PA3000. You can see PA3020 firewall throughput is 2 Gbps. 1 Gbps is dedicated for threat prevention. What is threat prevention? I told you in Palo Alto we have a concept. In Palo Alto we have a concept of content ID. Content ID concept. So this content ID is related with threat prevention technique. So here you will discuss what is threat prevention technique. But right now I'm giving you idea. 1 Gbps is dedicated for threat prevention technique. And this firewall device can support 250,000 sessions. We have 8 SFP port and 12 copper gigabit port. So my point is, you can go on Palo Alto website and you can get product information, product specification information. Okay. So then after that, you can decide. Okay. It's like, see, here we have a series PA3000, PA5000, or PA5050. So for big organization, you can go with 5,000, 3,000. For a small organization, you can go with PA200 or PA500. So these are the physical appliances. Okay. These are the physical appliances. Palo Alto will provide you VM firewall box. Okay. So like other vendor, for example, in Cisco, what we have? In Cisco, we have ASA. If you have ASA, this is called ASA physical device. If you have ASA V with a small v, so it's a complete firewall device. It's a complete Cisco ASA. But this firewall box we can use in virtualization network. This firewall device is a complete firewall box, complete Cisco ASA. But we can only use in a VM scenario. We can only use in a virtualization scenario. So like other vendor like Cisco, like Fortinet, Palo Alto will provide you physical appliance and can provide VM devices. See, these are the VM devices. PAVM series. So PAVM 500, PAVM 1000 HV, PAVM 300, PAVM 100, PAVM 50. Okay, so in my discussion, I have some series, okay, but Rajneesh, Suresh, Ahmed, you guys can go on to the website. You can go onto the Palo Alto website and you can search for other product information. But right now into the slide, we have some information. Clear my point? You can go with PA500, for example. PA500 firewall device. It's a VM firewall box. It's a complete firewall, but it's a VM. You can use in a AWS scenario. You can use in a Azure scenario. You can use in a VMware EXXI network. So this firewall device, for example, app ID firewall throughput is 8 GB. Threat prevention throughput is 4 GB. Clear my point, Ahmed, Rajneesh? So either you can go with physical appliances or you can go with the VM firewall box. Any question, Suresh, Rajneesh, Ahmed?
Okay, sir.
Now, if you go with the Palo Alto firewall box, so complete Palo Alto is firewall device is divided into 2 different planes. Complete Palo Alto firewall box is divided into 2 different planes. See, now we are trying to focus on Palo Alto architecture. Okay, we are trying to focus on Palo Alto architecture. So Palo Alto is using SP3 architecture to forward traffic. To forward traffic through the firewall box, Palo Alto is using SP3 architecture, and this architecture is developed by, you can say, or it's used by first time by Palo Alto firewall box. Now all the vendors, they are using this concept SP3, but they are using with different name, but it's SP3 architecture, single path parallel processing. You can say SP3, single path parallel processing process. What is SP3 architecture? Let me tell you. See, so a complete Palo Alto firewall device is divided into two different planes. This is complete PA200 firewall box, Ranish. Complete PA200 firewall box. And this complete firewall device is divided into two different planes. It's called control plane and data plane. So your management port, it's a part of control plane. You can connect your management PC. You can connect your management PC with this management port. So in control plane, we have dedicated CPU, RAM, hard disk. So Palo Alto firewall is divided into two different plane. It's called control plane. So for management, you can access through control plane. What is data plane? Data plane we are using for data traffic. Suresh, we are using for data traffic. Clear now my point, Rajesh? Ahmed?
So, sir, this is for all the family, or it's
Sorry.
particular?
Yes. It's a Palo Alto firewall. You can go with
Okay.
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 All Palo Alto firewall box is divided into two different plane: control plane, data plane. Rajesh,
Okay, sir. Thank you.
it's a complete Palo Alto, any series. Ahmed, clear now? Ahmed,
Yes, sir.
control
So
plane.
here,
Yes, you can
yes,
ask.
sir. Data plane here means the physical interface, or
See, data plane we are using for data traffic. In control plane, we have a physical interface. Management port
yes,
it's a physical interface. Okay, data plane is for data traffic. For example, LAN network, WAN network, DMZ network, we can connect through data plane. It's a part of
okay,
data plane.
okay.
Clear? So here we have a data plane. In data plane, we have three separate processors. We have three separate processor in data plane. The first one is called signature match processor. Second is called multi-core security processor. And third, you can say networking processor. So in data plane, we have three separate processors. Now, if any traffic is going to hit on any ingress interface, for example, this is Palo Alto fast Ethernet 0/0. So if any traffic is going to hit on any ingress interface, for example, onto this ingress interface, then Palo Alto firewall will create 3 copy of this packet. It will create 3 copy of this packet, and it will share this packet information with all engine, with all processor, you can say, with all processor. Palo Alto will create a 3 copy of this packet, and it will share with all engine, all processor. And what they will do, they will process the traffic parallelly. It's not one by one process. Parallelly, okay? So for example, 1 second will take signature match processor, for example, 1 second multi-core security processor, 1 second networking processor. So they are processing traffic parallelly. So it will take only 1 second to process this data, to process this traffic. That's why Palo Alto is what? It's fast. Clear now my point?
Yes, sir.
Everyone? Ahmed?
Yes, sir.
Let's discuss in detail. Okay, wait. Let's discuss in detail. Wait. So I told you complete Palo Alto firewall is divided into two different plane. It's called control plane and data plane. Palo Alto SP3 architecture. Palo Alto SP3 architecture, single path parallel processing. So I told you complete Palo Alto firewall device is divided into two different plane. It's called control plane and data plane. So in control plane, we have a dedicated processor. It's called management processor, you can say. It's called management processor. And in data plane, we have three separate processor. It's called networking processor, security processor, or you can say signature match processor, and you can say content processor. Okay, so don't confuse. Okay, see, if you go with the slide, what we have: signature match processor, multi-core security processor, and networking processor. Here we have what? This content processor, it's called signature match processor. This is called what? Multi-core security processor. And this is networking processor. So in data plane, we have 3 separate processors. So if any traffic is going to hit on ingress interface, Palo Alto ingress interface, so Palo Alto will create copy of this packet, 3 copy of this packet, and it will share with all engine. It's not one by one process. Okay, if you guys are familiar with the UTM devices, old UTM devices, unified threat management, it's a single box solution. Okay, it's an old device, for example. So if you are working with UTM, so in UTM, what we have, unified threat management, we have multiple engine in single box. For example, you have networking processor, okay, firewall engine, antivirus engine, IPS engine, application engine. So earlier, there was a device is called a UTM device, unified threat management. So in single box, you can get multiple engine. Okay, single box solution, you can say. No need to buy, separate devices for firewall features, for antivirus features, for IPS features, for networking features. Single box can help you. But the problem with UTM is what? If any traffic is going to hit onto the ingress interface, so they will process the traffic one by one. If any traffic is going to hit on ingress interface, for example, networking processor will take 1 second, for example. So it will process that traffic, then it will submit to the next engine. It will submit to the next engine. It will submit to the next engine. So, for example, if every engine is taking 1 second to process your traffic, it will take 5 seconds to process your traffic. That was the issue. It's a one by one process. We are utilizing all the engine, but it's a one by one process. So now Palo Alto is not using this concept. Palo Alto is using what? SP3 architecture. SP3 architecture means what? Single path, parallel processing. They are processing traffic, but parallelly. See, if traffic is going to hit on ingress interface, so it will create a copy of this packet and it will submit to the each engine. So they will do processing, but for example, 1 second, 1 second, 1 second. So they are doing processing parallelly. It's not one by one process. That's why it's a faster. It's called single path parallel processing. Clear my point? Everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, yes.
Is there hard means physical processor are there? Is there any thread like that we can?
Physical processor. You have a proper physical processor, okay?
Okay.
Separate, yes. See, here we have separate processor in control plane. Separate processor in signature match, okay? Separate processor.
Okay, physical processor.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
What about in FortiGate? Is there the same
See,
feature?
no, it's a separate. Polo is in FortiGate, they are using separate concept.
Okay.
All the vendors, they are using separate. But the concept is same, Suresh.
Yeah.
They are doing parallel processing. Okay? They are processing traffic parallelly. But they are using with different name. In checkpoint, but this concept is developed by Palo Alto.
Oh, okay.
Now, all the vendors, they are using this SP3 architecture.
Okay.
So here we have engine. I told you here we have engine, networking engine, you can say, or processor, you can say. So networking processor, multi-core security processor, and content ID. So let's talk about what networking processor can do. What is the task of networking engine, Rajnish? For example, networking processor can help you for routing, flow lookup, status counting, NAT configuration, and similar functions are performed on network-specific hardware. For user ID concept, user ID, app ID, policy configuration, multi-core security processor is responsible. For content ID, so Here we have a concept. In Palo Alto, content ID. Content ID, you can create security profile. So for all security profile, you can say, or for all content feature, we have a dedicated content ID, or you can say signature match processor. What about control plane? So in control plane, we have a dedicated processor. It's called management processor. So all management related tasks you can do with control plane. Clear now?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, now wait. Now let's talk about again. Okay, let's talk about control plane and data plane again. So wait. So I told you complete Palo Alto firewall is divided into two different planes. It's called control plane and data plane. So here we have a firewall device, for example. Wait. Here we have a firewall device, Palo Alto firewall device. And onto this firewall device, we have multiple interfaces, for example, data interface, and data interface. So this is data interface, and data interface. So you can connect your LAN, WAN, and DMZ. Now you will get a dedicated dedicated management port. Okay, so here we have a dedicated management port. It's called MGMT, dedicated management port. Wait. So this management port, it's a part of control plane. So you can connect your management port with management PC. I told you by default, we have IP address onto this management port. It's called 192.168.1.1. It's a default IP address. If you don't have, I will show you how to configure. But we have a default IP address on management port. Same series of IP you can configure here. And you can access this complete firewall box. You can manage this complete firewall box through HTTPS service or through SSS service. Now, so control plane, let's focus on control plane, okay? So control plane only for two traffic for management. So all to the firewall traffic from management PC, I'm trying to initiate my command and instruction, you can say. It's going to hit onto this interface. So it's a to the firewall. It's a to the firewall traffic. It's not through the firewall box. It's a to the firewall box. So only for to traffic used for management. So control plane, management port is a part of control plane. This control plane is also responsible for HA, for high availability. See, for example, if you are trying to configure high availability or failover in between firewall box 1 and firewall box 2, so you need a HA port. You need high availability link. Actually, in Palo Alto, we need two separate links. It's called HA1 and HA2. It's required in Palo Alto. In Fortinet, you need a single failover link. In Cisco, you need single failover link. Okay, if you want backup, so you can add, but you need single link in Cisco, in Fortinet. In Palo Alto, we need two separate link. HA1, it's called control link. This one is called data link. So this control link, it's a part of control plane. So it's also responsible for HA configuration. So your HA port, this HA port, it's a part of control plane. Session synchronization, it's a part of control plane. For example, if any traffic, for example, this firewall box is active, this firewall box is passive, traffic is traveling through active box. So if traffic is traveling through the firewall box, so if you remember, guys, Palo Alto, Fortinet, ASA, FTD, these are what? These are stateful firewall device. If any traffic is traveling through the firewall box, then firewall will maintain the state of connection in connection table, in a state table. So this is state table firewall box 1 will share with firewall box 2 through this data link. So this is called session synchronization. Suresh, clear my point? Ahmed, Rajneesh?
Yes.
This is called session synchronization. So for session synchronization, it's a part of control plane. What about logging?
So
Yes,
which
yes,
will
yes.
take care for the heartbeat?
Sorry.
Which will take care for the heartbeat for the this one link?
You can decide. You can
HF.
decide in your configuration. You can decide. Heartbeat interface. You
Okay.
can decide. See, so is in high-end appliance, you will get dedicated HA1, HA port, HA1 and HA2 port in high-end appliance. In low-end appliance, you can use any data interface as a heartbeat interface or as a HA1, HA2 interface.
Okay.
You can decide. In lower end firewall box, you have only data interfaces. So you can use your data interface as a high, like Fortinet. If you remember Fortinet lab, Fortinet session,
Yeah.
Yes.
Suresh, in Fortinet
Yeah.
high availability. So you can use data interface. Same in Palo Alto.
Okay.
Palo Alto, you can use your data interface as a heartbeat interface. Heartbeat link, no problem. Rajesh, any
Okay.
question?
No, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Now, see, logging. If you talk about logging, okay, so for example, if any traffic is going to hit onto the firewall box, for example, this traffic is going to hit on, or traffic is traveling through the firewall box. So it will hit to the policy, and I want to verify the logs related with the policy, for example, or you can say any kind of logs I want to verify. So logging option, it's a part of control plane by default. Okay. My point is in your control plane or in your management port, management network, what you can do, you can connect a switch here. This is your management PC. And with switch, what you can do, you can connect your remote logging server here. For example, syslog, this is syslog, this is SNMP, syslog and SNMP. So if any log happen onto this firewall device, by default, all the logs will travel via this management port. It will store on this SNMP or it will store on syslog as per your configuration. But by default, logging options, it's a part of control plane. Ahmed, in case if you don't have, see, for example, you have your syslog server and SNMP server on this DMZ side, for example. Everyone, I have my syslog server, but here in DMZ side network, this is a switch, and here we have syslog or SNMP server. So you can change this behavior, no problem. You can change this behavior in configuration. You can tell, okay, my logging server is available on DMZ network side. I will show you. I will show you how to change behavior, but by default, logging option, it's a part of control plane. Clear my point?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Now, what about signature updates? Signature update. So Palo Alto it's a next generation firewall, right? Next generation firewall. So this firewall can detect malicious information, can detect applications or virus or spyware, malware. But you need to download latest signatures. Like you need to download latest antivirus signatures. To detect application, you need to download latest application information. To detect malicious URL, you need to download latest URL information. So to download signature update, see, signature update is a part of control plane by default. So what you can do here, you can connect a Wi-Fi modem, a separate internet connection, you can say. This portion is what your management portion. So you can provide a separate internet connectivity. So if this Palo Alto firewall box is trying to go on updates.paloaltonetworks.com to download latest signature update, by default, it will use management port. So like for example, if this machine is trying to go on google.com, this machine. So what it's required? It's required IP address, mask, gateway, right? DNS entry. Same. If this Palo Alto firewall box is trying to go on updates.paloaltonetworks.com to download latest signature update. So yes, you need to provide IP address information here, gateway, DNS information. Clear? By default, signature update is a part of control plane. But in case if you don't have internet connectivity in your management site, you have a single internet connectivity this side, okay? This is ISP connectivity. This is connected with fast Ethernet 0/2, for example. So you can change this behavior. For example, to download latest signature update, please use port number fast Ethernet 0/2. No problem. You can decide. But by default, for signature update, it's a part of control plane. Clear now?
Yes, sir. So
Yes,
here
sir.
in FortiGate, if you want to download the latest signature, we'll use FortiGuard. So here, what we'll use in Palo
Here,
Alto?
here we have, I told you, updates.paloaltonetworks.com. This is a
Sorry?
web updates.paloaltonetworks.com. You can connect your firewall device. And see here, Ahmed, here we have a separate database. For example, for URL information, you can go with PanDB URL. Okay, for application, you can go on Applipedia, Ahmed.
Yes.
Here we have multiple options. In
Okay.
FortiGate, what you have, you need to go on FortiGuard server, right?
Yes, FortiGuard. Yes.
Yes. Here we have a separate servers for different services. For example, for URL information, you need to go on PanDB Cloud. It's a Palo Alto server, PanDB Cloud. Okay.
Okay.
For application download,
Okay.
you can go on Applipedia database. I will tell you. Okay, no problem.
Okay.
Here we have different servers for different services. It's a part of Palo Alto. Okay, but we have different servers for different services.
Okay.
Rajneesh, clear? Suresh, clear?
Yes, sir.
Suresh, any question?
No question, Jigar, as of
Okay.
now.
Now, so Palo Alto operating system is known as PanOS. If you guys remember Fortinet, so we have FortiOS. In Cisco, we have
Yes.
Cisco iOS. In Palo Alto, Palo Alto operating system is known as PanOS, and it's a Linux-based operating system. Palo Alto, it's a zone-based firewall. Remember always, Palo Alto, checkpoint firewall device, okay, and Cisco FTD, firepower threat defense. So these firewall devices are called zone-based firewall. They are working with this technique. It's called JBF, zone-based firewall. What is JBF technique? See, Fortinet is not a zone-based firewall device. Okay. Palo Alto is a zone-based firewall device. So if you are working with any zone-based firewall, what you can do? You need to create zone manually. There's no any default option. For example, here I have a Palo Alto firewall device. What I can do? I need to connect zone manually. Ahmed, Rajneesh, Suresh, if you guys remember firewall policy configuration in Fortinet, so we can define source interface, right? Destination interface. But in Palo Alto, you will define source zone, destination zone. Okay, clear my point?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So Palo Alto, it's a zone-based firewall box. So you can create multiple zones, for example, LAN, DMZ, WAN zone. And if you want to allow traffic, from one zone to another zone, you need to create policy manually. It's not like Cisco ASA firewall box. If you guys are familiar with the Cisco ASA, so in Cisco ASA, we have a concept. Concept is what? Traffic is by default allowed from higher security level to lower security level, right? You don't need to configure any policy. By default, traffic is allowed. Remember, everyone?
Yes.
By default, it's allowed. No need to configure any policy. But in Palo Alto, in Fortinet, in Cisco FTD, in Checkpoint, if you want to allow traffic, for example, right now we are working with Palo Alto. If you want to allow traffic from one zone to another zone, you need to create security policy manually. So my point is, if you are working with zone-based firewall device, with any zone-based firewall device, so you need to configure everything manually. Clear? Zone configuration, you can create zone, you can assign your interfaces to their respective zone. If you want to allow traffic from one zone to another zone, you need to create security policy. Clear now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, wait, give me 1 minute. So here we have a small topology, okay? I'm trying to connect management port with this management PC. One Palo Alto Firewall box and one management PC. This will take time, okay? Let's go on to the discussion again. If you start this Palo Alto Firewall box, this will take minimum 5 to 10 minutes to start. It's not a Fortinet. Palo Alto will take time, 5 to 10 minutes. Now let's go on to the theoretical discussion. Okay, so Palo Alto, it's an object-oriented firewall box. Everyone, can you hear me? It's an object-oriented firewall device. Palo Alto, Fortinet, Checkpoint, Cisco ASA, Cisco FTD. These are what? These are object-oriented firewall box. So you can create object here, and these objects you can use in your configuration. So interfaces should be configured to respective zone. So I told you Palo Alto is a zone-based firewall box. So you need to create zone manually. You can assign your interfaces to their respective zone manually. Now by default, any traffic, see, any services like ping, SSH, and HTTPS are not enabled. It's the same in, like, if you remember, guys, Fortinet. If you remember Fortinet,
Yes.
nothing is enabled, right?
Yes, on that interface. Yes.
Yes, for example, here we have a Palo Alto Firewall box. So by default, nothing is allowed. No service is allowed on data interfaces like ping, SSH, HTTPS. No, it's not allowed. But if you go with the management port, here we have a management port, MGMT port. So by default on MGMT port, here we have 3 services. These services are allowed. Ping, SSH, and HTTPS services are enabled on management interface by default. So you can configure IP address here from this management PC. You can ping. If you want to manage through CLI, so you can access through SSH. For graphical, you can go with the HTTPS. So by default, these 3 services are enabled. Okay, security policy should be configured to communicate between multiple zones. So Palo Alto, it's a zone-based firewall device. To allow traffic from one zone to another zone, you need to create a security policy here. So here we have a firewall security policy, or in Fortinet, you can say firewall policy. In Cisco, you can say ACL concept. Traffic is always unidirectional from source to destination. So if you want to allow traffic from LAN to WAN, you need separate policy. If you want to allow traffic from WAN to LAN, you need separate firewall policy. Like Fortinet, like Checkpoint. Okay, everyone.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Suresh. Okay, so here we have a concept, policy-based forwarding. So in Palo Alto, you can configure policy-based forwarding. It's called PBF. Policy-based forwarding. So policy-based forwarding can be done which overrides security policy rule. So I told you to allow our traffic from one zone to another zone, we can create our security policy rule. Perfect, no problem. But in case if you have some entry in policy-based forwarding, if you have some entry to allow your traffic, so if traffic is going to hit onto the firewall device, so firewall will check or will match this traffic information first in policy-based forwarding. If entry is not available, then it will go and check into the security policy. So that's why policy-based forwarding can be done, which overrides security policy rule. Clear my point?
Can you repeat again, sir? Sorry.
If policy-based configuration is available in Palo Alto firewall box, so if any traffic is going to hit onto the Palo Alto will check policy-based forwarding first. If entry is not available, then it will go and check security policy rule. So you can create to allow your traffic, you can create your entry in policy-based forwarding. You can create your entry in security policy rule. If there is no any option entry available in policy-based forwarding, so Palo Alto firewall box will check security policy rule to allow traffic. And if
So
you
we'll
have
check
entry, if you have entry, for example, if you have entry in policy-based forwarding, if you have entry in security policy rule, so it will first check policy-based forwarding. After that, it will go for security policy. Clear? How to configure policy?
Yes.
How to configure policy forwarding? I will show you.
Jitendra, we need
Yes.
to write the policy, both this one security policy rule as well as policy based forwarding.
It's depend on your requirement. So this, okay, for example, if this inside machine is trying to communicate with particular destination, so they can go via this interface or they can go via this interface. So if you have any entry about your traffic in policy based for, and once it will match, in case it will match, so it's not going to check your security policy. Yeah, it's not going to check anything in security policy. It will check, okay, entry is available, source is LAN, destination is WAN, source is any IP address, destination is any IP address, it's allowed, done. No need to check security policy. How to configure policy-based forwarding, I will show you. But my point is,
what is the purpose they are keeping two rules?
See, if you are familiar with route map concept or policy-based forwarding concept, PBR concept. Are you familiar with PBR in CCNP routing and switching? Suresh? Policy-based routing you can do.
Yeah.
What is policy-based routing? In policy-based routing, you can decide if this particular source is trying to communicate with particular destination, they can go via this route, right?
Correct.
So it's the same concept. Here you can create an entry in policy. In Palo Alto, you can say policy-based forwarding. If any entry is available in policy-based forwarding and for same traffic is entry is available in security policy rule, so it will first check policy-based forwarding. And see, we have limited option. In policy-based forwarding, we have limited option to check. Like source zone, destination zone, source IP, destination IP, done, finish. Traffic is allowed, allow. So no need to check.
One policy is enough for the forwarding the packet, right? Say here only we can write everything. Why should you write in the security policy again?
See, in security policy, we have security features. In policy-based forwarding, we don't have security features. Suresh, like next generation firewall features, you can only use security policy. Like I want to use application ID. I want to use URL filtering concept. I want to use antivirus profile feature. Then you cannot configure. This is a routing concept. Policy-based forwarding or policy-based routing concept.
Just allow the packet. That's
exactly, yes.
Okay.
Just check L3, L4 information and done.
Yeah.
Suresh.
Yeah, got it.
See, in FTD, in Cisco FTD, this concept is called pre-filter security policy. Same concept we have in Cisco FTD. It's called pre-filter. Okay, Ahmed, clear? Rajneesh, clear?
Yes, sir.
Everyone?
Yes.
Okay. Let's take a break for 5 minutes, then we can continue. Okay. Please turn off your
Okay,
mic.
sir.
We will continue at 10:55. Everyone can hear me? Ahmed, Rajneesh, Suresh.
Yes.
Everyone, let's start our topic now. Suresh, can you hear me? Ahmed.
Yeah, Ajit.
Okay. Now we can focus on packet flow. Packet flow, how traffic is traveling through Palo Alto firewall device. See, we'll discuss in detail. Let me show you. If we talk about Palo Alto packet flow concept, so we'll discuss in detail. This is detailed information. Detailed information about the packet flow in Palo Alto. But right now I'm giving you the basic idea. Basic idea. Why? Because you don't know anything about this app ID concept or decryption policy concept or security. You don't know anything. That's why I'm talking about the basic idea about how traffic is traveling through Palo Alto firewall. But we will discuss in detail. Once you complete all your topics, then you can go with the deep discussion on packet flow in Palo Alto firewall box. But right now, let's focus on basic packet flow concept. So this is complete Palo Alto firewall box. Ahmed, can you hear me? This is complete
Yes, sir.
firewall device. Complete Palo Alto firewall device. And if any traffic is going to hit on ingress interface, if any traffic is going to hit on any ingress interface, so Palo Alto will do initial packet processing first. Palo Alto will do initial packet processing. We are trying to get idea how traffic is traveling through Palo Alto firewall. So if any traffic is going to hit on ingress interface, then Palo Alto firewall will do initial packet processing. In initial packet processing, Palo Alto will check source zone information. For example, here we have a Palo Alto firewall device. This side is LAN zone. This side is a WAN zone, for example. WAN zone. So if traffic is going to hit on interface, ingress interface, then Palo Alto will do initial packet processing. And initial packet processing, it will check first source zone information. So traffic is coming from which source zone? Source zone, source address, IP address, or source user. So it will check first source zone information. Traffic is coming from which zone? Okay, what is IP address? What is source user information? After that, it will go for forwarding lookup. It will check forwarding lookup, you can say. For example, if this inside machine is trying to communicate with 8.8.8.8. So traffic will go and hit onto the firewall device. What firewall will do? What firewall is what? L3 device, right, everyone? Firewall is a L3 device, routing device, netted mode firewall
Yes.
device. So if any traffic is going to hit onto the firewall box, then firewall will check his routing table, right? Firewall will check his routing table. Okay, you want to go on 8.8.8, let me check exit interface. So based on your forwarding lookup, Suresh, or based on routing table, your firewall can identify exit interface. So for example, to go on to this 8.8.8, this is exit interface. For example, 0/2, it's exit interface, everyone. So this interface is a part of zone? Yes or no? Ahmed, Rajneesh?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
Interface is a part of any zone. For example, this interface is a part of WAN zone. So now firewall can identify
Destination zone.
Okay, so in initial packet processing, Palo Alto can identify source zone, destination zone information, and now based on your traffic. So traffic is initiated from LAN side and trying to go onto the WAN side. So based on your traffic direction, Palo Alto will check NAT option. Is there any NAT policy is available? Because traffic is traveling from private network to public network side. So is there any NAT option is available? If NAT is available, it will what? It will evaluate the NAT policy configuration. Okay. Remember, guys, in Fortinet we have two type of NAT, right? Source NAT and DNet. Remember?
Dynamic net.
Ahmed,
Yes.
we have three types
Destination
of
NAT.
NAT. everyone.
Yes.
NAT or destination NAT. Same concept we have in Palo Alto Firewall box. Okay, so it will check, it will, as per direction, it will check, okay, traffic is coming from LAN side, trying to go onto the WAN side. Let me check NAT option. So it will try to find the NAT configuration. Now Palo Alto will go for the next step. It's called security pre-policy. So in security pre-policy, Palo Alto will check allow ports, what ports are allowed. Now if ports are allowed, then traffic is traveling. And if traffic is traveling, then session will create, because it's a stateful firewall device. If traffic is traveling through the firewall box, firewall will maintain the state of connection in connection table.
Session table.
So
Yes.
it will create a session. Okay, right now I'm not talking about application ID or security profile. Okay, we'll discuss later, because you don't know anything about app ID concept, decryption policy, security. So I'm not talking about this. I'm giving you the basic idea. I'm giving you the basic idea about packet flow. So it will create a session, and based on NAT policy, evaluate what it can identify. Okay, traffic is trying to travel from one zone to another zone, and yes, we have a source NAT, for example. So it will apply the NAT concept and forward the traffic to the egress interface. Clear now? Suresh, basic idea. Ahmed, Rajneesh.
Yeah, Jitendra.
So if traffic is traveling through the Palo Alto firewall box, then the firewall will check source zone information, destination zone information, NAT policy evaluate, NAT policy apply, and packet is traveling to egress interface. Okay, now wait. Now let's talk about initial configuration. Initial configuration. For example, here we have a Palo Alto firewall. And this port is what? Management port. So you can connect your management PC. You can connect your management PC, MGMT PC. You can see by default we have this IP address on management port. So you can configure same series of IP address here. Default username is admin, password is admin, and I told you on management port, 3 services are enabled: ping, SSH, and HTTPS. Remember this discussion? These 3 services are enabled by default. Clear now my point, everyone?
Yes.
Yeah, Jitendra.
Now, let's try to access. For example, here we have a small topology, 1 Palo Alto firewall device and 1 management PC. Let's try to log in. Palo Alto. This is console, everyone. This is console. I'm trying to access this Palo Alto firewall box with console. You can press enter, see. Login. So username is admin and password is admin. Default username is admin and password is admin. You can log in. And here we have an option. Wait. It's just like a user EXEC mode in Palo Alto firewall box. See. Now you are in Palo Alto firewall. You can type question mark here. See. You can type question mark to identify the next command into this mode. Multiple commands are available. To configure anything, you can go in configuration mode. Command is configure. You can go in configuration mode. Ahmed, Rajesh, Suresh.
Yes.
Yes. Sir.
Okay, let's try to find right now management IP address. So command is show system. So interface management command you can use. I thought I'm working with Fortinet. In Palo Alto, you can use so interface management command to identify management IP address information. You can press enter and you can see now IP address unknown, mask unknown, gateway unknown. So let's try to configure IP address here. Let's try to configure. So configure command you can use. You can go into the configuration mode. Now command is set device config system type static. Why static, Rajesh, Suresh, Ahmed? Because by default, DSCP service is enabled on management port by default. If you connect your management port with any DSCP server, so this port can get IP address automatically. Clear my point?
Yes. So same like FortiGate management
Exactly. Yes. Same like
interface.
yes. Yes.
Yes.
So I'm trying to configure IP address statically. So command is set device config system type static. I want to configure IP address statically. You can press enter. Now set device config system IP address. System IP address 199.199.1 I'm using. Net mask 255.255.255.0. And now to save anything in Fortinet, in Palo Alto, you can use commit command. In Fortinet, to save anything, what we can
End
do?
command.
We can go with the end
end.
command. Remember, Suresh, Ahmed,
Yes.
Rajneesh. In Palo Alto firewall box, we can use commit command.
Jitendra.
For configuration live or to save our configuration, you can use commit command. Commit.
Okay, sir.
This will take time, everyone. This will take time. Please wait. Okay, please wait.
Yeah.
Please wait 2 to 3 minutes. This will take time. No, it's not a two-stage operating system. No. Ahmed,
Yes.
we have a plane. Like in router, we have control plane, data plane, right? In router,
Yes.
you have control plane, data plane. And same in Palo Alto, we have control plane and data plane. So for different services to utilize different features, we have different plane. For management related tasks, you can work with control plane. Okay. And for data traffic, you have a separate plane. It's not a separate operating system. Ahmed.
No. I mean when you type comment, that means this Palo Alto has two operating system based on Linux and plus Palo Alto operating system.
Okay, you are talking about this commit command.
Yes. About this command. Yes.
Yes. See, here we have running
Mhm.
configuration and startup configuration. Okay, whenever you configure anything, this configuration will store in startup configuration. Like it will store in candidate configuration. And once you type commit command, the configuration will go into the running configuration. Clear now, Ahmed?
Is similar to
Yes.
Juniper.
Yes, sir.
Juniper,
Yes.
exactly.
Yes.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Yes.
You
Juniper.
can say it's a copy. You can say it's a same. Yes, exactly. It's a Juniper. Commit command we can use in Juniper. So now this time you can verify IP address. You can go with the exit command, show interface management. Now you can verify IP address information here 199.199.1 and mask. If you have a IP address, so you can verify your connectivity from this management PC. So let's verify IP address information. Wait. Let's just start this device again. Okay, wait, guys. This management PC. Start. And please wait. This will take time. Okay, everyone, can you hear me? Ahmed, Rajneesh, Suresh.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's verify IP address here. So this is management PC and IP config. Wait, IP config 192. Let's change IP address here because we are using 199 series of IP address. So right click on network interface card properties, internet protocol TCP/IP version 4, and let's configure 199 series of IP address. 199, 199, 199, 10. Okay, let's verify our connectivity now. IP config ping 199, 199, 199.1. By default, ping, SSH, and HTTPS. 3 services are enabled on management port. So if I'm trying to ping, I'm getting reply. Once you are getting reply from firewall device, so you can open your browser. Any browser you can open. IP address we are using 199. So here you can type 199.199 HTTPS 199.199.199.1. Default username is admin and password is admin. Wait. Now click on advanced, click on proceed. And now this is Palo Alto login page. Everyone, this is Palo Alto login page. Username is admin. Password admin. You can click on login. If you click on login, so you can see you are getting a message here. See, warning, your device is still configured with the default admin account credential. So this is just a warning message. Okay, you are trying to access with the default username and password. Try to change because it's a default. Admin, it's a default one. So you can change. Okay, you can click on OK. This will take time. So let's go on to the CLI option. Everyone, let's go on to the CLI option. So in case if I want to go for default factory reset, Ahmed, Rajneesh, Suresh. So guys, remember in Fortinet, we have a command execute factory reset command in Fortinet. Remember?
Yes, yes.
In Palo Alto, if you want to reset your firewall device, so command is request system private data reset. You can press enter. I'm not going to press enter here, okay? Because this will take time. If you press enter, it will restart your firewall device. It will take 5 to 10 minutes to restart. So I'm not going to execute this command, but you can. In your practical, you can use, but this is the command syntax I'm telling you. Request system private data reset to reset your firewall device. If you want to restart, so request restart system, you can press enter. If you want to shut down, so request shutdown system, you can press enter. Clear now? I'm not going to restart